Let's look in more detail at the health risks of three important types of pollutants: VOCs, SVOCs, and particles. When you smell a new product, you're smelling volatile organic compounds. A small volume of indoor air may contain dozens of invisible VOCs at concentrations up to 10 times higher than outdoors. New products or a new space can have levels up to 100 times greater than outdoors. You can reduce your exposure to VOCs by buying low VOC products, by ensuring that homes and buildings are well ventilated, especially when activities produce large concentrations of VOCs, and by airing out new products and environments before using. VOC exposure can cause both short and long-term health problems, including eye, nose, and throat irritation, headaches, loss of coordination, and nausea, damage to the liver, kidneys, and the central nervous system, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and asthma. Children face higher exposure to VOCs because they breathe faster than adults and have smaller body mass. People with asthma and the elderly may also be more susceptible to the effects of VOCs. Semi-volatile organic compounds are present as airborne gases, as chemicals settled on indoor surfaces, and as particles and dust. Because SVOCs are more challenging to measure, less is known about them than about VOCs in general. Even after original sources are removed, SVOCs can persist in indoor environments for weeks or years because they coat surfaces or are absorbed into materials. SVOCs, such as plasticizers, can vaporize from the surfaces of products containing them because they are not bound to the materials. Health effects from SVOCs include allergic symptoms, delayed reproductive development, and altered semen quality with phthalates, and lower birth weight with perfluorooctane sulfonate and perfluorooctanoate. There is growing concern about endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, which are SVOCs with chemical structures that may mimic human hormones and increase or decrease endocrine activity. EDCs may contribute to cancer, diabetes, obesity, and infertility, as well as to learning disabilities like autism and attention deficit disorder, although supporting evidence is limited. Exposures to very small amounts of EDCs in utero when the fetus is developing may affect the development process. SVOCs from pesticides, plasticizers, and flame retardants are commonly detectable in the bodies of both adults and children. Knowledge about effects from indoor exposures to SVOCs is limited. Some SVOCs are known to be toxic and are no longer used. Particulate matter, referred to as PM, is a mixture of very small solids and liquid droplets suspended in the air. Outdoors, larger particles can be seen as atmospheric haze. Indoors, most particles, other than smoke or soot, can't be seen. There can be as many as 100,000 particles in a cubic centimeter of indoor air. Particles come in many sizes. For reference, the average diameter of a human hair is 70 microns. Coarse particles are 10 microns or less in diameter. Fine particles are 2.5 microns or less in diameter. Ultrafine particles, sometimes called nanoparticles, are 0.1 microns or less. They are transported by air currents and are so light they may not settle onto surfaces. The smaller the particle, the greater the health risk, because all particles can be inhaled. Particles less than 10 microns create health concerns. Fine and ultrafine particles can penetrate deep into lung tissue, and ultrafine particles can enter your bloodstream. Scientific studies have linked particulate matter exposure to a variety of health impacts, including eye, nose, and throat irritation, aggravation of coronary and respiratory disease symptoms, and premature death in people with heart or lung disease. Some population groups are at greater risk from exposure to airborne particles. These include people with heart or lung diseases, as well as children and older adults. To learn more, visit chemicalinsights.org.